On the news tonight, over 300 business firms benefit in Anambra Cares post-COVID-19 economic program. Health education stakeholders to conduct survey on mosquito-borne disease in schools. Nupeng puts members on nationwide protest alert over ASU strike. US and Japan pledge to cooperate on economic fallout of Ukraine war. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. 260 micro and small business firms in the state have benefited in the first phase of World Bank-assisted economic recovery program tagged Anambra Cares post-COVID-19 solution for qualified micro and small business firms. Correspondent Joseph Ewacha gathered that the beneficiaries received the cash grants of between 1 to 500,000 naira within the 23 financial institutions partnering in a program. His report.
68 others equally benefited from various IT enhancement grants such as laptops, printers, website hosting and POS machine at the unveiling of the Anambra Cares post-COVID-19 solution for qualifying micro and small business firms in the state at the Dora Akwinyele Women Development Center, Awka. Performing the function, the Deputy Governor of the state, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezin, who congratulated the beneficiaries for being selected, encouraged them to make judicious use of the grants in order to expand their businesses, employ more people and improve economy in line with the vision of the Soludo administration to make Anambra livable and prosperous. Dr. Ibezin, represented by the Deputy Chief of Protocol to the Governor, Office of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Emmanuel Obieze, also commended the Anambra State Small Business Agency, ASBA, financial institutions and other partnering agencies for the success of the program.
Go back to your locality, go back to your community, set a goal, set a timeline, that by this time next year, you will employ more persons. By this time next year, you will open up a branch. In all your going to do this period, put it at the back of your brain, move from where you are down to the next step.
Earlier in his address, the managing director of ASBA, Saklen Chukwuka, said 1,029 firms applied for the grants, out of which the 260 beneficiaries emerged, adding that 769 more will benefit before the end of the year.
The idea is to make sure that people create business traffic in their own various businesses. Our support is to ensure that micro and small enterprises will grow. Micro will grow to small, small will grow to medium, medium will grow to large. And that is the way to go. So this support are coming courtesy of Mr. Governor of Anambra State. And so it is important that the media will help us that this is real.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Comrade Ugochukwu Okeke, who is the chairman of Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Anambra State Chapter, thanked ASBA for including persons with disabilities in the recovery package and promised to achieve desired results.
That meet up with the requirements of the program, and we are happy that the state is supporting small-scale business to grow. And we thank our Executive Governor, Charles Rugo, for supporting this program through ASBA.
The event had in attendance the State Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Ms. Chiamaka Nnak, represented by Mrs. Ogo Oji, representatives of civil society organizations and financial institutions partnering in the program. From Dora Akwinyele Women Development Center, Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
The Anambra State Cash Transfer Unit, in collaboration with the State Ministries of Economic Planning and Budget and Women and Social Welfare, has rendered after training of 500 Anambra youths under the Anambra COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus and Cares program with beneficiaries in Awka North local government area. The 4 days training was held at Isoniocha, and it attracted the beneficiaries from the 10 communities that make up the council area. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo has the rest of the story.
Anambra COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program, ANCARES,
is under the Nigeria COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus (NCARES) program, World Bank assisted and disbursed by state governments through the State Cash Transfer Office, geared towards making Nigerian youths self-reliant by empowering them with a sum of 200,000 naira startup grant each at the end of the training. Addressing the beneficiaries, the State Commissioner for Women and Social Welfare, Mrs. Ifio Binabo, asked them to utilize the opportunity given them by the government to improve on their living standards.
I feel, I believe, na ya be hunu litesirulu niya, no way for men and do no queer. Good. I make an Chineke na konya lani, and you wedding the way for ya be former. When I yopani hem down we matalo, ki didn't want to see any get focused in life. I may give 20 billion for you to become somebody. When you're focused with little money, Bronya Anambra State, you will make it. Oh, when you're Marani, and into the Maronia Bronya.
The state government, they have empowered us. It may be a statement and soon no one ever in our life. Last week, I lived with a boss for these NG girls, concern of the state government.
On their parts, Livelihood Desk Officer, Anambra Cash Transfer Unit, Mr. Christian Obiajolo, and Operation Manager, Social Transfer of the office, Lady Florence Mmaka, reminded the beneficiaries of the need to invest the money in the planned businesses and to be serious with the business in order to excel.
It is a wonderful experience, and I really thank God that I'm one of the beneficiaries, all thanks to the state government. It will look the automatic total and it will little mother. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, sir.
Recall that the 500 youths of Anambra State were trained on various economic fields to help boost their knowledge on financial and business management. 50 persons from each of the 10 pilot local government areas of the Livelihood Program, which include Aguata, Anambra West, Oka North and South, Idemili South, Ihiala, Nnewi North and South, Obaro, and Onitsha South. From Isuanoyocha in Oka North local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Special attention will soon be shifted to some selected primary and secondary schools domiciled in the riverine areas of the state to contain emergence of lymphatic filariasis, a disease caused by certain female mosquitoes that bred in Mosa marshy environments. This was disclosed by the Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma, during a course call by the Carter Center for Health Education. Correspondent Theophilus Okoha completes the report.
Professor Chuma said it is a welcome development and laudable initiative coming from a renowned Carter Center for Health Education to save Anambra school children from the mosquito-borne disease. She, however, commended the team led by Mr. Afam Anene, promising to direct school heads in the selected schools to give them maximum cooperation.
It's a very laudable initiative and coming from a very wonderful world character. Carter is one of the problem, the plagues our people are afflicted with, and they said this is caused by mosquito. I am really grateful that such initiatives exist. And as it pertains to school, we have already done the needful. They said we should shift the holiday by 2 weeks, which we have already done, because this is a very wonderful and important initiative. It will save the life of many.
The 7-man team representing the Carter Center for Health Education, led by Mr. Afam Anene, visited to seek permission of the state government, Ministry of Health, through the Ministry of Education to visit some selected schools in the riverine areas and marshy environment to examine especially primary school children with a view to containing the spread of the disease born from a certain female mosquito whose health effects, if not checked, could result to a more serious deformity. According to Mr. Anene, the examination survey is federal government Ministry of Health initiative through USAID and Keita Center, focusing on vulnerable school children. The team leader said random tests will be conducted on the school children. Where positive, drugs will be administered.
Designed that they're going to be a study. They're going to be a study on this across the country. It's not something that started today, it's something we do from time to time. And then when the such a study is conducted, choosing some particular locations where the velocity is very high, the 12 local government areas have been considered high endemic for this particular disease. Through studies, even from the past. Now, when it is done, and these are now, mass administration of drugs is done to live on the road. This particular disease, when it has not.
Other members of the team include Mrs. Ifoma Abaizu, Stella Ezepwe, Atama Isoma, Ndife Onyinyechuku, and Emmanuel Obikwelo. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Barrister Nwando Obiano, was also present during the visit. Theophilus Okoha reporting for ABS News.
Awka South Constituency 1 Stakeholders Forum has passed a resolution congratulating Governor Chukwuma Soludo on his successful completion of 100 days in office. The forum passed a resolution following a motion sponsored to that effect by Majority Leader Dr. Nnamdi Okafor and seconded by the President General of Awka Development Union Women's Wing, Mrs. Oge Ekwozo, during the meeting in Awka. Correspondent Chukwuemeka Modeling was there and reports.
Commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the ongoing aggressive operations against insecurity in the state, the digitization of the state revenue windows to curb diversion of public funds, the rehabilitation of some strategic roads, voting of 60% of 2022 Anambra State revised budget estimate to capital projects, the reduction in cost of governance, and the entire fundamental changes going on in the state as steps in the right direction. They appreciated Governor Soludo for finding some of their sons worthy of appointment into various positions of government and urged him not to relent in fielding further positions in the state with other capable sons and daughters of Awka South 1 constituency, considering that the constituency gave him the highest number of votes counted in the last governorship election. The forum enjoined Governor Soludo to pay serious attention to Awka Capital Territory and help correct the infrastructural development deficit that has kept the capital city aback for many years, even as they pledged their unalloyed support to Governor Soludo as partners in progress for the development of Anambra State. The majority leader of the House, Dr. Nnamdi Okafor, moved the motion, while the Secretary, Awka South 1 Constituency Stakeholders Forum, Mr. O.C. Onuko, read the resolution.
That we pledge to continue in our unalloyed support to Mr. Governor as partners in progress for the development of Anambra State. Thank you.
Hereby move a motion that the 5 resolutions as read by our acting secretary be adopted and passed as resolutions of the Awka South 1 Stakeholders Forum. I so move. Thank you.
In his reaction, the immediate past Transition Committee Chairman of Awka South Local Government Area, Mr. Leo Moba, also described Governor Soludo's 100 days in office as eventful and actions-packed, as the governor has continued to work every day to reposition the state. In Awka, Chukwuemeka Modelim, ABS News.
The 2022 Anambra and UJ Bloggers Summit has ended with a call on both social and conventional media practitioners to help in restoring the glory of Nigeria plagued with so many challenges. The National Vice President of Ohaneze Ndibu Worldwide, Chief Damian Okeke-Ogene, made the call at an event held at Godwin Ezemo International Press Center, Awka, in partnership with Life International Hospital, Awka. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha has details.
The event, which has as its theme Managing Information Crisis in the Era of Citizen Journalism, also featured special talk on in vitro fertilization (IVF) and assisted reproductive technology by the founder of Life International Hospital and Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Joseph Ikechebelo.
When it gets out, you see that now. When you look at it and assess it, you see it's an empty news. But if you see a news, you need it, when you read it, you go back and read it again and make sense. Knowledge and education is a continuous process.
Contributing, the traditional ruler of Omonia in Oyi local government area, Igwe Chris Onyekuluje, noted that growth and development of any society depend largely on the contributions of the media, among other things, called for sustained enlightenment of young people against illicit drug intake. On managing information crisis in the era of citizen journalism, a senior lecturer and head of Department of Research and General Studies, NTA College, Jos, Dr. Chinelu Dabe, and the former managing director and chief executive officer of ABS, Dr. Uche Nwora, represented by the former head of station ABS Onitsha, Dr. Njideka Ezonyejiako, noted that though technology has democratized communication, which gave rise to uncensored citizen journalism practices with attendant challenges, there is need for proactive response to information management for the good of the society.
God gave women this very privilege that they are the natural incubator for carrying the baby 9 months and they will deliver the baby. Till today, all we have done in science, there is no other incubator better than the womb of a woman. In short, we have not found any. And so it is still a very rare privilege. No man has that, but it's only the woman.
I'm having the 5th estate of the realm. And the 5th estate of the realm is what? Bloggers or online publishers. Neglect them to your peril. I was the first to start blogging in Anambra State. And let me tell you, when I was doing that, it was lucrative. I was enjoying it. My colleagues never knew what I was enjoying. I was enjoying it because all over the world they were calling me for one thing or the other. And I was daring.
Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Echeng, represented by the State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga. Anambra State Director of DSS, David Enoch Power, represented by Assistant Director of the Service, Uche Oga. Former Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in the state, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ABS, Chief Shido Obidiegu, among others, were present at the event that had Drs. Henry Duru and Obiora Edogo of Mass Communication Department, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Mr. Cornel Osigwe, an online publisher, Chief Chuka Nnabife of Anambra State Newspapers and Printing Corporation as discussants. From Godwin Ezemo International Press Center, Awka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has placed its members on alert for a possible definite strike to demand an end to the continued industrial action by workers in the country's education sector. The union, in a statement jointly signed by its president Williams Akporeha and the General Secretary Afolabi Olawale, expressed concerns about the prolonged strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Non-Academic Staff of Universities and Associated Institution, NASU, and Senior Staff Association of Non-Academic Union, SANU, which has paralyzed academic academic activities in the nation's public tertiary institutions for the past 18 months. It said its planned protest was in condemnation of the insensitive posture of the federal government in resolving the strike and allowing students to resume classes. The union warned that the rank and file members of the union would align with the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC's position on protests against the unfortunate situation in the tertiary education sector. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued an exposure draft for the Digital Financial Services Awareness Guidelines to address gaps in consumer knowledge and practices with digital financial services, DFS. This was disclosed by the CBN in a circular titled Digital Financial Services Awareness Guidelines. According to the CBN, the rules establish a set of principles and expectations for financial service providers to incorporate in the provision of DFS in order to promote consumer knowledge, good treatment and positive outcomes. CBN stated that DFS has the potential to expand access to financial services for the Nigerian population and spur innovation in the financial services industry. It stated that the provisions of the guidelines would apply to institutions providing DFS, including deposit money banks, DMBs, merchant banks, other financial institutions, payment service banks, and other payments service institutions as licensed by the CBN. And on the foreign scene, the top economic officials of the United States and Japan have pledged to work together to tackle rising food and energy prices while reiterating their condemnation of Russia's war in Ukraine. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Japanese Finance Minister Tsuchinsky Suzuki on Tuesday said the war had increased exchange rate volatility, posing risks to economic and financial stability. The two sides pledged to work together on currency issues under their commitment as members of the Group of 7 G7 and Group of 20 G20 economic groupings. The two leaders jointly condemned Russia's unprovoked, unjustifiable and illegal war against Ukraine and said they would work together to support Kyiv in overcoming its economic challenges. The joint statement said both sides also welcomed efforts to pursue gap prices on Russian oil while appropriate, but did not include a concrete agreement for such a scheme. And now sports. Nigeria began the 2022 African Men Handball Senior Championship with a 30-18 defeat to Tunisia. The Golden Arrows stood toe-to-toe in the first half against the record African champion to play exciting handball in the first half, which ended 14-13 to the delight of the fans. But then Nigeria dropped the magic of the first half and made several mistakes and turned others in the second half, which ensured that the Tunisians punished them with an emphatic 30-18 victory. Coach Rufai Salami said that the team didn't take their chances and allowed incessant turnovers, which made the Tunisians to be ahead in large period of the match. The French-based coach said that the team will do better against Cape Verde, as this was the first top side they will play aside the Abuja-based clubs. Nigeria will play Cape Verde on Tuesday, and a victory may be good enough for the Golden Arrows to get into the quarterfinals. And that's just about it on the news. But before we go, remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Now the main points again. Over 300 business firms have benefited in Anambra Care's post-COVID-19 economic program. Health education stakeholders are to conduct survey on mosquito-borne disease in schools. Nopeng has put in members on nationwide protest alert over ASU strike. And on the foreign scene, we also told you that US and Japan have pledged to cooperate on economic fallout of Ukraine war. Here's a special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. Good night.
Nothing works up our emotions like a good game of sports.